No, yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the floor.
Yeah, but we got to stack them up anyway.
You know, stick it up on blanket, Oliver. The blanket. I give you a blanket. Okay. Nicely and.
Nepente, what do you got? Hey, welcome. We're just launching the live stream. If you've never tuned into us before, I'm Oliver, and I'm the executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a 501c3 with 5 ambassador wolves, and we are doing what we do a lot, which is, hey, welcome there, Addie. Addie Arts a lot. I like it. We are just preparing a bunch of elk here. So we're friends with a local game processor near where we live. This is the peak of hunting season. And so this is the stuff that the hunters don't take home after the game processor prepares everything for them. And so we are super lucky. We get this stuff as a donation to our wolves, which means they get, so in the black bags, there's the scrap meat, and then these are the meaty bones. And so we bag this stuff up into like individual portions, and we put it in the ice chest here. And so I thought you guys might want to, I'm going to get this here on a stand here. You guys might want to hang out and enjoy. So give me a sec here while I try to figure that out here. And I'm going to try to position this so you all can see what's going on, but also so I can sort of check in with, I don't know, I got to figure it out here. My camera mount broke the other day. And so I'm kind of playing it by ear here. Let's see. What if I put you all right in the bucket? Here. All right. Let's see about this. So the problem is I can't see you. Let me, if I flip the camera, let's see. All right. Maybe this. Maybe we'll go like this. We're trying here. You guys got to bear with me for 1 second. And welcome, everybody. All right. So you guys are hanging out in the actual meat bucket here. And that way you can.
I'm not gonna do meat buckets.
My wife doesn't want to. The wolf mom Tanya doesn't want to be in the meat bucket. Where do you want to be? You got to be where you can hand that. So what we're doing here, I know it's a little crooked. I know it's a little funky. We're a little crooked and funky. That's what it takes to work with animals like we do. And so I'll do my best to sort of keep an eye on the chat here, and hopefully don't drop my phone into the meat bucket. What we got here is,
You have to wrap it tight too and put it in.
I'm getting a lot of instructions from my wife here. You like being in the meat bucket. The wolves would love to be in the meat bucket. I just uploaded a video to TikTok of everybody getting their first little snacky here for the evening on it.
Wrap it tight.
My wife is giving me a lot of directions here. I'm very lucky in that she's a professional chef. This would be so much harder with somebody that wasn't able to like instantly slice up a big animal. I mean, the one thing is, if I ever disappear and nobody knows where I went.
No, you can say that on.
She is good at taking things apart. I'll just say that. All right. So what we're doing here is we're putting this all in individual bags. We pull out these, and by the way, these are compostable, biodegradable bags. We try really hard to do things ecologically well here. And yes, we're doing this in the middle of our kitchen because our home is ground zero for our wolf center. And so we process all this stuff in our kitchen. Let's see here. Where do you source the meat from? So all of this is coming from a local game processor that's in a town near us. And so they're a commercial butcher. And we have a special relationship. If you put it like that, it's hard. Put it vertical so you can drop it in. And so every one of these is just like, and it's amazing, like the quality of the work these guys do. I would love to give them a shout out, but I'm not sure they want me to. I don't know whether their customers would love to know that all their hard work scraps are going to feed wolves. Some of them I'm sure would dig it, but others might be like, that's it. Not bringing my stuff to you anymore. So we'll keep them confidential until they promote it themselves. But this is a huge benefit to us. I mean, this is, for us, this is as significant a donation as anybody can make, because by the end of the hunting season, they provided us with something around, I don't know, between 1,000 and 1,500 pounds of meat and bone that allows us to.
You tie it like this.
I wrap it. I got it. You know, under the thumb of the coach here, the kitchen coach, right? I get to be the boss in every area with the wolves, except packaging the food. I design the menus. I control the feeding. But when it comes to running the show in the kitchen, not the boss. I'm not the boss. I can pretend to be the boss, but it never works out. So a lot of this, what she's handing me right now, are the forelimbs, the shoulder blades. And so we break it down into some pretty specific pieces. So we try to manage how much bone they're getting at the same time as meat and whatever. So they have sort of the right ratios in their diet. And it's not going to fold. That ain't gonna fold, sweetie. It ain't gonna fold. It ain't gonna fold. It's okay. Kind of, not really.
But I want to make it.
When it bends, it's funny. When it breaks, it isn't. That's not gonna fit. It's just gonna.
Here, so they
Well,
can.
now it's very sharp.
No, it's not.
As a,
You tie it.
you have to let go of it. Yeah, there's no way to tie it right now.
I just go like that.
So we have many, many freezers. Let's say here, pretty awesome. Hold on, they're great for that. Yeah, they're really nice. People give their meats just scraps. Yeah, I mean the quality of the scraps is amazing. If you guys hang out here, after we're finished bagging up all the bone, then we start putting the meat in 2-pound loaves, and I mean, it's incredible quality meat. Like, it's not trivial. There's hundreds of pounds. I mean, in addition, like the bones aren't scraped clean by any means. I mean, there's a bunch of material on here that, I mean, the wolves get a full meal with a meaty bone. But then we also were giving them the supplemental meat. And for those of you that have never tuned on to this before, I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We are a 501c3, TahoeWolfCenter.org, and our focus is education, science, and advocacy. So we do free educational programs for schools and other entities.
You have a knife? No, my knife. I don't want your knife.
Then you can get. So while she's getting the knife here, I'll just show you real quick here what we're dealing with here. So this is a couple 100 pounds of bone, and in the bags over there is the soft meat, and then here you can see like this is sort of like the visceral tissue that's right would be around organs, and so hey what?
They didn't see you.
They do see you in your wolf.
They do not
so
see you.
The thing is falling here. The funny part here, the funny thing here is I don't know if you can see Tanya. That's her actual name is Tanya. But can we have a cameo? Tanya's in wolf pajamas processing wolf meat. She's always in wolf pajamas at home. It's very, very funny. Oh, by the way, if you like this is some of my merch. It says, if not friend, why friend shaped. It's got the Tahoe Wolf Center logo on the back. You can get those from the store on my channel, by the way. And for anyone curious, anything here, like if you guys give me a super or become a paying member of the channel or buy any merch on the channel, all that stuff goes to support the wolves at the Tahoe Wolf Center. And well, I'm sitting here bagging up meat. If y'all got questions, feel free to ask. I'm trying to take a peek. How many people did we kill? That's a lot of meat. Yes, there is. So on average, hey, Belle, on average, they eat 2 to 3 pounds. So I'm going to answer that in 2 ways. Animals like ours, captive wolves that aren't having to chase down their food, eat between 2.5 and 3.5 pounds of meat a day on average. In the wild, they need about twice that much to survive because they have to burn so much energy to get their food, and they also lose a certain percentage of their food to like grizzly bears during the season when grizzly bears aren't hibernating, but also to other scavengers like birds and coyotes and foxes and whatever else. So the captive animals need about half as much food as the wild ones. And so for us, what that equates to, because we can't count on this kind of stuff all year round, is that we also make a lot of their food. If you check out my other live streams, you'll actually see the process that we use to make their food. And that's mostly grass-fed beef that we slice in a commercial slicer. And with that, we mix in some frozen pulverized kale. And then we use some other key ingredients that balance out the nutrition as best as possible. And so that includes something which is called Platinum Performance Canine. And then another raw ingredients we use are now bone meal with phosphorus and vitamin D, and the Orgain collagen with probiotics that you can get at Costco.
You should use gloves for your arms. So you
I
can
should
touch.
use gloves. No, I'm not worried about it. I don't have any cuts on my hands.
It's not about the cut. You can just handle it comfortably.
I can handle it comfortably without the gloves. So let's see here. You ate 5 homeless people because you thought they were watermelons? I bet you they didn't taste like watermelon.
Can you give me some cleaver?
Can I get you some cleaver?
Uh,
Speaking of cutting up homeless people,
thank you.
you gotta watch this woman with a cleaver. It is no joke. I'm scared. I don't know why. I like the axe. I like knives. I'm scared of the cleaver. Here, check it out.
No, all of it. Just stop it.
I feel like I should be wearing eye protection. Well, she doesn't like being on camera.
Okay.
She doesn't. She's shy one. She doesn't like being on the camera. I have to do all the in front of the camera. What else we got here? It tastes like chicken. I had an ex-wife. She used to say, "I like cats. They taste like children."
I don't think it's funny.
My wife doesn't think that's funny. I thought it was funny. My ex-wife thought it was funny. That was her email signature, actually. Probably doesn't surprise anybody. She is a horror novelist. So there's that. Cheers. So then what happens after we get all this stuff in bags is then I got to haul it back. It's amazing how much weight I carry. So we had to process all this out of the barrels at the game
Can we
processor.
get 2 of them?
I think that seems like a lot for a bag, but
It's a skinny one though.
that's a skinny one. Yeah, that's a deer. A lot of deer this time. You should see the size of the moose legs. We don't get many of those though. But the wolves like the elk the best, I think. Actually, it depends on the wolf. Q-Talk, our old lady, likes deer the best. But everyone else likes elk the best. What else we got here? What are we cutting up? We are cutting up. This is an episode of CSI. Thank you very much, Addie. Appreciate that. She does get stuff done. That's why she's a world-class chef. You should see her run a restaurant. This is all the easy stuff for her. It's crazy how fast.
Yeah, I like that too.
Huh?
It's typing like that too.
I'm doing my best. She's not happy with how I'm tying the bag. See, what she wants me to do is this. She wants me to take the bag and then pull it tight like this so it holds everything together so it takes up less space in the freezer. Because by the end of the season, in another couple weeks, our freezers are all just totally maxed out. You know, one of the thoughts of us is, I mean, how productive is a hunting season that this is just one little commercial processor in one little mountain town, and they get this much meat. And I mean, this is just a week's worth of their meat. Just 1 week. And there's something like 350 pounds of bone and meat, and probably 150 to 200 pounds of that is just straight up meat scraps. Let me have a peek here. What's going on? That's just scraps. Yep, just scraps. I know, right? What kind of wolves do we take care of? How many freezers do we have? All right. So it came from a game processor who's local to us, who's a buddy. Otherwise, they give it to the renderer, and so it's better for them and for us to let us feed our wolves. So we take care of there. So we have one Arctic wolf, and the rest would be what you guys would call timber wolves. Their subspecies is Canis lupus occidentalis, which is the same kind of wolves that are in like Yellowstone National Park or the Canadian Rockies. So it's the biggest subspecies, actually. Our biggest animal, we have two boys. They're both pretty close to 150 pounds. The girls are a little smaller. Sunny and Mooney are probably between 85 and 90 pounds. And our tallest animal is also our skinniest, and that's a Kutak, the Arctic wolf. The Arctic wolves are all pure white, like Game of Thrones. Not a dire wolf, though. There is no such thing as an actual dire wolf anymore. They're extinct.
This is skinny one. Huh?
That's a skinny one.
You just keep it to them to make sure they get equally.
I got to make sure they get equally. That's what we do. My wife will tell me if I give anybody like a better piece, then she tells me I don't love the other ones as much. But I always tell each of them individually that I love them the most. Because I do. I love them all the most. Let's see what we got here. Thank you. Yes, she is so spicy. So hey, that's a great question, Carlos. So there's a lot of publicity about them cloning a dire wolf, but they didn't really exactly clone a dire wolf. What they did is they took, it's unclear whether it's pure wolves or wolf dogs. My impression from the animals that they produced is that they're actually wolf dogs, but that they introduced 13 or 14 genes from dire wolf DNA that they recovered from the La Brea tar pits. And so these animals are a very small percentage of dire wolf. This is Colossal Biosciences. I actually did a pretty long live stream about this if you're really curious. So if you just go to my channel and click on the lives, you'll actually see a picture of the dire wolves, or what they're calling dire wolves. But they're really sort of genetically modified wolf dogs. And it's interesting, but I wish those guys had spent $1 billion on buying critical habitat and setting it aside for all wolves instead of trying to bring back a species that naturally went extinct. So I do have my sentiments about that. The technology that they've brought forward is interesting, but the idea that we will ever bring back a fully extinct prehistoric animal is pretty unlikely because we don't have intact genomes. And even if we did have a fully intact genome, we wouldn't have a way to incubate such an animal because it would be so different from any potential uterus and hormonal system that you it wouldn't work. They wouldn't survive. Even as it was, I think that they fertilized something like 40 embryos, and they only got 3 viable animals out of that. And it was pretty hard on the dogs that they used as surrogate mothers. So the idea that they could somehow magically bring back, they're talking about a woolly mammoth. I'm not sure how they think they're going to do that. There's no animal close enough. It's interesting, though. Here, let me have a look at what's going on here. Exactly. Yeah, and actually they kind of customized it because George R.R. Martin from the Game of Thrones was a big fan, and that's why they made them white. So I don't think they could clone them like 100%, Carlos, because they don't have enough of the DNA. The amount of DNA they were able to recover from bone fragments that were found in the La Brea tar pits is actually relatively limited. They don't have anything remotely approaching a complete genome. And so I think they made them as close as they possibly could with the genetic information they had, and then they used CRISPR to modify the gene. So basically, the way to think of it is a gene is a set of instructions, like a computer code, and the computer code tells the cellular machinery what proteins to produce, which is what produces all the structures in the body. And so imagine that you've got a printing press, right? And you've got a book, and so let's say they got 3 pages of the Bible, right? From that they could actually reconstruct, right? So you might have all the letters, you might have all the numbers, but you don't have the whole thing, and so there's no way you'll ever fully reconstruct the Bible. You'll just reconstruct the 3 pages that you've got the accurate information. And so to me, when I look at those dire wolves, they definitely look different, but to me, like, they have kind of a weird overbite. Like, I know that one of the things they try to do is make the heads bigger, but what appears to have happened to me is that they have sort of an overbite compared to a wolf. They're sort of thicker. Their legs appear to be a bit shorter and more spread out. It also looks to me like their gait as they move, like I've seen videos of them moving, and their gait isn't nearly as graceful as a wolf, but it's unclear to me if that's because of a genetic defect or if it's like that's just the morphology of a dire wolf. I think it's more likely that they've just got some sort of hip dysplasia, because that's sort of what got brought in with the other characteristics. I mean, the idea that the dire wolves had sort of this kind of pinkish colored nose and that they were all white, that's complete fantasy. That was just because one of their big investors wanted white wolves. So there's some compromises there for sure. To me, no disrespect to the guys or the science, but to me it feels more like a publicity stunt. Although there's some real science there. I'm not arguing that there's real science there. I'm just saying that they spent a couple of $1 billion, and the incredible good that could have been done with a couple of $1 billion by just buying habitat that is otherwise vulnerable and just setting it aside for the future of the planet would have been, in my eyes, so much more valuable long term. Let me see what else is going on here. Where do we get our wolves from? I heard about the woolly mammoth possible clone being worked on. They've got a woolly mouse, by the way. Apparently they made a mouse pretty woolly. So my wolves come from various places. Other licensees like us, and then some small amount of rescue. But we're not like a sanctuary. Like, we don't just take in animals any chance we get. Our focus is really doing stuff just like this. It's being live. It's answering questions, leveraging my science background and my 40 years of work with and study of Canis lupus and also Canis latrans, which are coyotes. I also work with a bear coexistence organization. I crawl under houses and get bears out. And yeah, we do a lot of free education stuff. We also will work with like technology companies to improve things like diet. I work with a company called Better Wild. Sorry, I gotta get some bags. I'm gonna have to open up a bunch of bags.
Yeah.
So Better Wild is, they make this allergy product for dogs. It's a probiotic. And so I work with that company to help them promote the product a little bit, because we use it with our wolves. It's based on wolf research. And then the company Phi, which makes amazing tracking collars. I've been involved with those guys for many years. Sorry, I'm peeling a bunch more bags here. And those, for us, because the biggest thing we worry about is what happens if like a tree takes out a big section of fence, or we have some kind of an accident or an emergency. And the best way for me to get my animals back is to know exactly where they're at. And other way. And wow, that's a long one.
That's why I tried to put that away.
But it won't. The other way it'll poke through. That's why it's like. And this provides real-time tracking, health data, intensity data, sleep data. I don't get paid to recommend them. I just use the product, and they provide me with product technology. but it lets me sleep at night because our animals are in a real big natural habitat. And even though we have cameras everywhere, when they're hunkered down, sometimes it's hard to find them. But I can wake up in the middle of the night and just check the app and it says everybody's home and I can go back to sleep. And if they weren't home, it tells me exactly where they are, which gives me the best chances of recovering them. What's the best thing to be feeding your dog? Okay, hey Legion. So we are a huge proponent of biologically appropriate raw diets, both for dogs and of course for our wolves. We have an Alaskan Malamute. We feed her exactly the same way we feed our wolves. So I have a book out. It's called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs that kind of gives a general idea of how to raw feed your dog. If you go to my live streams here, I have actually put up the recipes that we use for feeding our animals, which can be pretty much readily adapted to feeding any dog. And if you want a more basic guide that kind of gives you everything, oh, that's a nice elk leg. Yeah. Everything that you need to know to kind of get started. A friend of mine, Dr. Ian Billinghurst, wrote a book called Give Your Dog a Bone.
Oh my God, this is happy.
And Give Your Dog a Bone is an outstanding, well, why is there so much? Oh, because you couldn't cut it all the way?
No, just make sure when you give it to them, they have all the big pieces.
All the big pieces. Wow, that's a nice one. Well, we're getting down to the bottom of the bones. Then we got to do the small bones, and then we do the meat.
Yeah.
And this is how we're spending the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Because when you got 5 ambassador wolves and an Alaskan Malamute, this is the job. Like I get a lot of comments, by the way, from people. It's like, I want a wolf. I'm like, try to educate people on what it really requires to take care of these animals the way that we do. And one of the first things is that if you really want to do it right, you've got to be really, really comfortable with really gross jobs, such as this one.
My God, this one is big.
Yeah, that's a bull elk for sure.
How you do it?
You want
Put
to
it over. You
Huh?
put it over and turn it around. Put it over and turn it. Yeah.
maybe I'll double bag this one because it's so tall. And
No,
so
you
floppy.
just wrap it out. Just wrap it.
It's not going to reach.
You just wrap it.
Just wrap it. You see the
Just
size of this
fine.
thing? That's off an 800-pound animal, no doubt.
Where's Nepente?
Oh,
Nepente.
summer with a bone.
She doesn't have.
Probably in our bed, in our laundry, with a bone.
Oh,
Is she? Is she? The Malamute has stolen the bones and taken them into our clean laundry.
Hanging by the fan.
Oh, she's hanging by the fan. Okay.
Nepente, come here. Here, take this.
So we're up near Lake Tahoe. Yeah, we don't cook any of this stuff. Everything is raw. So we always feed raw. No smoked bones. Nope. We don't want anything cooked at all. Sorry, I'm leaning forward so I can read this. Yeah, we don't want anything cooked. We don't feed any cooked bones. That's the big issue is cooked bones because they don't break them down as well. Raw bones, and even chicken is not, everyone's all panicked about it. It's cooked bones. Cooked bones splinter into very sharp pieces that the animals can't digest. With the
all right, so
one big piece. Oh, it's a spine, and a piece of backstrap. Somebody's lucky.
Hey, you want this? Nepente, you want tender? Yeah.
Our Malamute is like, yeah, I'm not sure I care about that. I'll take it, and I'm going to bring it over and lie down with it in your clean laundry. Look, if you've ever seen me before, especially from the waist down, you see I'm always wearing like natural colors and camo. And it's not really that I just absolutely have this camo fetish. It's more that it just doesn't show as much dirt. It doesn't show the blood stains. I look tidier than I am as a result. Although I am generally partial to the natural tones, except for in hoodies. I really like my orange hoodies. Or green or black or burgundy. There's a lot of colors of the hoodies, by the way, guys, in case you like that. They do make cool Christmas gifts, and it does support our nonprofit. So if you want to support us, that's one way to do it. And for those of you that want to support us more directly, obviously you can give us gifts or supers on here. It is kind of Giving Tuesday. We don't really do a lot of like, hey, help us out, give us money. But this time of year, if you're feeling generous, it does help because it's expensive to do what we do, obviously. And we don't charge, we don't charge our nonprofit for the time we put into it. We do it because we love what we do and we believe in our mission and we love our animals. And so every penny that comes just goes to take care of our animals. They all have insurance. It actually costs us $1,300 a month just for their medical insurance. But they do have better insurance than we do. I was just looking at my insurance bills earlier today and having a nervous breakdown. Because they've gone up a lot. Really a lot. See how. So the problem, Carlos, is that let's just say that they can bring back a woolly mammoth. Let's just say they can bring back a dire wolf, right? So here's the problem, is that every one of those animals evolved to fit into the environment at the time that they were on Earth. And that means that everything that was there, like dire wolves were eating other animals that lived during that period, which was like short-faced bears and cave lions and giant sloths and mastodons, and none of those animals exist now. And if you talk about bringing back like a woolly mammoth or some other herbivore, well, the grasses and the forbs and the trees they ate are gone. So it's really much more complicated than, we can bring back the animal, because in order to support, like, for example, in the Endangered Species Act, it doesn't just talk about protecting the actual animal. The Endangered Species Act has requirements that protect all of the environment that the animal needs to survive. So that's why we have the Marine Mammal Protection Act, and we have marine mammal reserves, which prevent fishing or other activities in those reserves, because the idea is to keep the ecosystems that the animals need, which is their food base, their prey base, all of that stuff, intact, so that they have everything they need. But in the case of extinct animals that have been extinct for 10,000 or 20,000 years, the planet has changed. The planet changes slowly but surely all the time, and then there's giant changes that happen kind of during catastrophic changes. So we had the end of an ice age, and then we had what they called meltwater pulses 1 and 2, where there were sort of big shifts in the climate that resulted in big ecological changes and mass extinctions. So, we had like the KT boundary event was the giant asteroid that hit the Yucatan Peninsula and killed the dinosaurs. But at the end of the Lesser Dryas, we had an enormous environmental change, and a lot of the giant mammals died around that time. And those giant mammals included, for example, the dire wolves, the cave bears, the short-faced bears, the giant sloths, mastodons, woolly mammoths. They died out because the environment changed. It wasn't like somebody hunted them to extinction. It was that the environment which they needed to survive changed so much that they couldn't adapt, and other species that were better suited to the new environment, for example, modern wolves. So modern wolves and dire wolves existed at the same time. Modern Homo sapiens and Neanderthals existed at the same time. But modern humans and modern wolves were better able to adapt to a changing environment that put pressure, survival pressure, on every species, and some made the cut and some did not. And the ones that didn't make the cut went extinct, and trying to bring them back through technology is more like a curiosity or a vanity project. It's not like we're going to repopulate the world with dire wolves. Does that make sense? Let me take a quick look here. Purina is the answer. How does one find a wolf dog? Hey, Brett. I highly recommend, if you want to get a wolf dog, that the first thing you do is you find a wolf dog sanctuary or rescue near where you live. There's going to be one somewhere. And you volunteer. Because the failure rate for people to get animals that have significant wolf is over 90% by the time the animals are 2. Those animals are either dead or in rescue or disappeared. They're very difficult. They're actually terrible pets. I tell people how we do what we do, but I also encourage people that if they're really serious about it, to go volunteer first so you see what you're dealing with, because dogs are pets. Wolves and wolf dogs are a lifestyle. I mean, like, once again, this is my Saturday night, right? Like, you guys are on the internet or, going to go bowling or a movie or out to dinner. My wife and I have been married now, how long? 25, we don't even remember, 25 years, something like that. We've never been on an airplane together. The only vacations we take, well, no, we don't take any vacations anymore. Before, when we just had a few animals, we'd go to like the ocean and stay in a Motel 6. Now we have a 37-foot school bus that we could live in with the wolves, but only in an emergency. Like, nobody in their right mind takes.
I'm throwing this away, okay?
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think it's worth for them.
I agree. Those are small.
Small.
Possible choking hazard.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
That's too small? I don't think that's too small.
I think they're okay.
Yeah.
But those little round ones, I don't like.
Yeah. The whole thing that's thrown away right now.
All right. Show the camera. So we have like a couple of real small, like they look like eyeball-sized bones, and so we're tossing those because we don't want to risk anything. Animals getting antsy about what they're eating, and.
Can you just dump the meat now?
Yes. All right. So now, into the black bin again.
Yes, please. But I mean, this is be careful to
It's very, very heavy, and there's a knife in the bottom.
Yes, thank you. Can you open a trash can for me, though?
Can I open a trash
Oh,
can?
no, be careful. No, not like that. Not like that.
My wife is saying, don't put the knife where I'm sitting, like I'm gonna sit on the knife. I'm not gonna sit on it.
Okay.
Here, do you need me to open the trash can still or
No,
not?
it's fine. Would you
Okay,
tell me?
so I'm gonna just turn this so people can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm about to dump. Hi, Nepenthe Star. Hi, Nepenthe Star. I got my Malamute here. For those of you that think that a wolf is the ideal companion animal, may I highly recommend an Alaskan Malamute. The thing about Malamutes is they're so wolfy that they can live with wolves and even boss them around. My last Malamute was in charge of all the wolves, but they're an awesome companion. You can take them places. They're so much fun, and they're so 75 pounds. Meat. Whew, that's a lot of meat. You want to dump the rest of it?
Yes, please.
Right. Watch out, Nepenthe Star. It's not. I'm all bloody, buddy.
Where's the knife that you give it to me?
Oh, you put it over there?
Okay. One more. What about almost 200 pounds?
I think it's, I think we got 200 pounds of meat at least.
Do you want to feed the kids first?
No, we'll bag it up and feed them later. They're quiet right now. They're all working on their bones. They're working on their bones. So let me show you guys here. Hopefully the phone doesn't fall out of the thing here into all the meat. This is Nepenthe Star. This is Nepenthe. Nepenthe weighs 85 pounds, and next to the wolf, she looks like a Shiba Inu. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna section this out into like 2-pound little loaves, and we're gonna bag it up. So here's all the meat we just bagged.
Bone.
That's all the bone, right? Individually bagged, probably 250 to 300 pounds of bone. And then we got another about 200 pounds of meat here. And so what I do is I sit here, she weighs it, and I catch it in bags and I roll it into little logs. I need to actually, will you go grab a milk carton crate? So we put that all in milk carton crates, and then we put it in our freezer. How much was the elk? Right, yeah, bone broth would be super good. So the thing is, we should, it would be delicious. I love elk, but that isn't the deal I have with the processor, right? They are committed to providing this for our wolves, and we are super conscientious about that. Like, we have some markets that take past date stuff and in the front, and we honor the agreement, right? We don't feed ourselves off it. We don't put that back in the human food chain. I mean, we could, no one would know, but that's not me. That's not how we operate. You know, when somebody makes a deal with us to support what we do, we honor it 100%. We're super careful about that. So, but yes, it would be very tempting. If I have a buddy who kills something good and he wants to give me marrow bones, then I'll make bone broth. Because, yeah, I love elk, and this would make amazing bone broth. It's all human grade. Well, let's see here. I'm going to read back a little bit here. Catching some guys here. How much? So these are all scraps given to us by a game processor. These are going to be discarded to the rendering plant. What kind of? So I was talking about dire wolves, which are extinct, and then I was talking about.
That's all I have. It's one.
That's fine. One's enough. We can shift it.
Okay. Where are we going to put it first, though?
Right here next to me.
No, I'm talking about the space.
I don't know. We have to clear space in the freezer. And then we're talking about, our wolves or timber or Arctic wolves. Stew, baby. French onion soup with a bone broth. That came from a game processor here. Honorable, we're a legend. Thank you so much, Legion. So we're not throwing it away. We are, this is all bagged up to feed our wolves at a nonprofit. So it's not being thrown away. It's going to support our nonprofit. The one I said are friendly. Oh, I'm talking about Alaskan Malamutes. That's a dog. Oh, she just went outside. So the black and white animal that was just here in the kitchen with us is my dog. So mainly it's just that they're not expecting me to put it back in the human food supply, even if it's just for me personally. And I don't want them to ever be exposed to any risk of any kind, right? They're doing something really helpful to me. Like, it's worth thousands of dollars for me to be able to have this kind of incredible meat for my wolves and this kind of enriched bone. It's their natural food. It's hard to get. And so we just, we don't mess around with that. We don't do anything that could compromise that kind of a super, I'm sorry, I'm trying to balance you guys again so I can get ready to. These guys, my little phone stand here has had better days. I need to get a new one. Oh, you're not I can say cooperating. Come here, help me out. There we go. All right. So what happens next is my wife starts to portion out and weigh 2 pounds, and I sit here and I make wolf food burritos. Right, so I've got all these bags, and I just catch it when she dumps it in the bags, and we roll it up into burritos. I'll show you what that looks like, and then we freeze them in 2-pound logs. And so, for example, the animals already had a bunch of their bones tonight. And then later they're going to get, and we like to give them kind of frozen. It slows them down a little bit. And obviously that way it keeps. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have six big freezers. If you ever see a video of our property, the ones that are outside are all in cages because the wolves know how to open the freezers. So they have to be in cages. Otherwise they'll rob the freezers. They're so smart. Oh, I see my battery's getting low here. I'm gonna get a little backup power source, guys. Hold on.
room for you
Room.
right now.
Thank you.
They need to be thrown away now.
Plug y'all in here. Why aren't you charging? Oh, there we go. Right on. All right. Yeah, so Malamutes and Huskies are really, really different. Thank you. Yes, no liability. They may pull back. A deal's a deal. That's how I operate. Like I said, I really, really like Malamutes. I think they're the best breed of dog. They have all the wolfiest characteristics while they're still just amazing companion. Amazing. Smart, loyal, can handle any temperature or exercise you throw at them. Don't bark that much. Although my current Malamute has a bark that'll split your head in half. She can really bark, which is unusual. I mean, Czechoslovakian wolf dogs are accepted as a breed. They're a very wolfy dog. Samoyeds, but for me, I love all dogs, but Malamutes are my dog, right? Like, I mean, if I'm going to have a companion dog, it's going to be a Malamute. I have incredible Malamute genetics. I actually have my last male passed away at 14. We have his sperm bank at a gene bank. My current girl is a purebred, intended to potentially breed with that male later if we decide we want puppies. I also really like border collies, but that's another breed that most people have a hard time handling. They're super high energy, super smart. If you're not willing to invest a ton of time, they'll find a job for themselves, and it's probably not the job you want them to have. It can make your life difficult. They are actually really commonly rehomed dogs. Huskies are one of the most commonly rehomed dogs just because they're really high energy, not good in like apartments. They're beautiful, but they're hard for people. Malamutes are beautiful, but they're hard for people. If I was going to have any really small dog, it'd probably, surprisingly, it'd probably be a Pomeranian, but not these American Pomeranians. European Pomeranians are a lot bigger. They're like 30 pounds. They look like foxes, and they're actually a guarding dog for livestock. They guard chickens against foxes. And they're very different from the American messed up version, which is sort of inbred and funky. I love coyotes. Yes, collies are super smart. Coyotes make terrible pets. They're potentially even a more difficult pet than a wolf dog. People think because they're a little smaller, but coyotes are very different in their behavior. They're very difficult to contain. If they get loose, your chances of getting them back are next to zero. I love coyotes. I love working with coyotes. Given the right circumstances, I would definitely rescue a coyote. But I also know that it requires a lot to do a coyote. Cooey wants to come in, the Arctic wolf.
Do you think she wants to eat something here, or she just want to be in the back?
I think she just wants to know what's going on in the back. And if you let her in right now, we'll be dealing with challenges.
Okay.
Our old Arctic wolf is scratching at the door, and we're like, oh,
I feel that.
this is not the best timing. Because she'll be in everything. She'll take control of the meat, and then she'll threaten us. Because she's my spiciest animal. She's going to be 15 in April, and she's bit me more times than all the rest of the wolves I've had in my whole life put together. She bites me almost every day a little bit. She's very spicy. She's a terrible pet.
Where's my...
Yeah, not American Pomeranians, but look up European traditional Pomeranians. They're very different. They're much, much bigger. They don't have short little faces. They look like fuzzy foxes. They're really cool. What are you looking for? I'm just opening up bags, answering questions. You want to see the wolf? You're going to have to hang out. We're probably, it takes us about, how long is it? Huh?
30 minutes.
It's going to take us about 30 minutes to bag up all this meat and get ready where she could be in the house. I will live stream the whole time I'm doing this. So if you want to see our ancient Arctic wolf come in the house and cause trouble, I'll do it, but it's going to have to be after we're done with this part. Because once she comes in,
Done.
we're done. We have to manage her, and she's difficult to manage. She does sleep in the house, actually. She likes to sleep on the couch, but I have to be on top of her every second. And if she gets up in the middle of the night, either me or my wife have to get up to let her out, or she'll either mark all over the house, or she'll destroy something, or mark all over the house and destroy something. And her favorite thing to destroy are my expensive survival packs. And for whatever reason, she loves Mystery Ranch hardware. She'll mess it up. They fix it, but they're a great, Mystery Ranch and Kuyu make great packs. That's what I use. And both of them have had to repair wolf damage packs. It's probably, bears will damage packs out in the wild,
Maybe.
almost. But the wolves will damage the packs in my house. I'm like, you guys won't believe it. My wolf ate my pack. They laugh in their warranty department's like, you serious? I'm like, unfortunately. All right, so this is how it goes, right? So my wife dumps a big, this is 2 pounds. And then what I do, and this is how we do all our food, is I make a little burrito like this, right? And then that goes in a milk carton crate, and then we put those, stack these like logs, frozen logs in the freezer. Oh, what's up? And I know this looks super easy. My wife and I have probably got, I don't know, 10,000 lifetime hours rolling up food like this. It's an insane amount.
Open this way.
No, it's because you're holding it at a weird angle this time. And it's funny because we've been doing this and making this food for so long that you'd think we've perfected it. And the funny thing is, like, every once in a while, we'll be like, why didn't we do this before? And we get a little better and a little better and a little better. Like, we used to cut up all the meat, and it would be in a big red tub. And then I would have to get my hands in there and mix the other ingredients, like the calcium and phosphorus and the probiotics and the vegetables and all the extra nutrients by hand. And it was brutal. Like, it's like being a cement mixer, right? 200 pounds of material, ice cold, mixing it, you know, it would take forever. It would just be brutal. And one day my wife was like, well, why don't I just layer all that stuff in the meat as I slice it and run the meat through the slicer a couple times? And it cut the processing time by like, I don't know, by 70%, and it cut the hard labor by 100%. Like, it became way easy. And we'd only been doing this for 14 years before that little revelation hit us. You know, and nobody else does it like us. Like, literally, you know, all of our fellow facilities, like, I know that my friends sometimes tune in to watch us do this, and like, damn, you two got that down. Like, right? Like, very few people raw feed as many animals a diet like this as us. Most of them do it with a team, where they buy raw food. See, this is it. It's portion controlled. I agree. That's Ryan. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're still fighting that removal because it doesn't meet the standards established by the Endangered Species Act. The removal is basically politically motivated, not scientifically motivated. There's already multiple lawsuits, and we already have a ruling that they haven't recovered, and that the recovery plan doesn't meet scientific standards. And so a lot of NGOs are fighting this right now. And
is it a soft bone again?
Yeah, there's some soft bone in some of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight it tooth and nail, but yeah, this, you know, without getting too deep into politics, this administration has been bad for wildlife.
Done.
Legitimately bad for wildlife.
Don't go there,
Yeah, my wife doesn't like when I get into the politics of stuff, but yeah, it's been an unfortunate time for wolves in particular, but grizzly bears, mountain lions, science in general. Like, I'm gonna get a spanking from my wife. It's like, this is too close to politics for her. She hates it. I have meltdowns every day. Like, all I care about is nature. All I care about is environment. Look at that. How did that end up in the bin?
I have no idea.
That's a freaking steak. There's steaks in this bin. It's crazy. Hold that one up to the camera.
Where is
Gotta
it?
move it this way.
Here.
Look at that. That's so beautiful.
I'll take
Beautiful meat. Yeah, we keep fighting it. We keep fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. You know. And so the interesting thing is, you know, right now, I don't know if you guys have heard of zombie deer disease. Anybody? Anyone? Anyone? Zombie deer, chronic wasting. Right? We're bagging up all the meat to feed our ambassador wolves. That's what we're doing. So we have 5 ambassador wolves at our nonprofit, and this is a big part of what we do, is preparing their food. We have a deer problem, and so zombie deer is also, it's technically known as chronic wasting disease, and this is a disease caused by a misfolded protein. It's 100% fatal. There's no way to get it out of the environment because infected deer poop it out. It gets into the ground and it grows up in the grasses that other deer eat. It's like a perfect predator at an environment. I mean, you couldn't make a scarier thing up if you tried. And the only thing that we know scientifically that slows the spread is wolf and mountain lion predation, but mostly wolf predation, because wolves are what we call opportunistic predators. And that means that they look for the easy ones, right? They look for the young ones, the old ones, the sick ones, the ones that are got a broken leg or some kind of an injury. They're always trying to just get an easy meal, right? They don't want to take the guy that's, you know, healthy and gonna beat them up in a fight. They want to take the guy that's already limping and, you know, looking sick. That's why the wolf ate grandmother, right? Grandmother was the weak elk. No. But no, they're looking for the weak elk because killing big dangerous animals that are, you know, the average wolf weighs less than 100 pounds. The average elk weighs, you know, does 400 to 500, bulls 800 plus. The average bison 1,200, a big one 2,000 pounds, right? And you're killing it with your face, right? Like, it's not like a mountain lion or a grizzly bear that has claws, then grab a hold of it. You know, grizzly bears are just as big. They drag everything down and just crush it. Mountain lions get on their back and bite it at the base of the skull, paralyze it and kill it. Wolves, they, you know, death by 1,000 cuts, or at least until they can pull it down and get a hold of its windpipe and crush its windpipe. Bad way to go. But they are looking for the easy ones, so they don't have to take any risks. Like, they don't care if it's got a big rack. What they care is, can it feed me tomorrow, next day? And hold on, I'm catching up here. Just opportunists, right? And yeah, so the thing with this chronic wasting disease is that it really spreads, and there's no way to stop it that we know of. At a certain point, there's already evidence that humans that eat infected meat can catch the disease. But the problem is that the incubation period is like 20 years. So people that are getting infected now, as it becomes more prevalent, we won't know they got infected until they die in 20 years. And we're already starting to see cases. So in humans, this disease is called Creutzfeldt-Jakob, and it's like a Dr. House disease. It's so rare, less than 1 in a million people get it. And suddenly we're starting to see like clusters where 4 people in the same town get it kind of at the same time. And when we dig, the evidence indicates that it's like, oh, they were members of the same hunting lodge. And so they probably were consuming animals that were infected from the same time period. And we're going to see a lot more of it for sure. It's like a horror story in slow motion. And so as we prevent wolf recovery, we're actually destroying healthy game herds. The ranchers that don't like wolves are going to learn a hard lesson, because sooner or later, that disease is going to find a way to mutate enough that it infects livestock. And the minute it infects livestock, the game is over. Like, I don't know if you all remember, about 10 years ago when we had mad cow disease. Mad cow disease is kind of like chronic wasting disease. And they had to kill like 8 million cattle, and countries like Japan and the UK and Brazil said, nope, we're not buying American beef right now. It's dangerous. Well, if they had even one case of chronic wasting disease in American beef, it would be the end of the industry. Pretty much the end of the industry. Just over. Nobody would buy our beef. It wouldn't be safe to eat. There's no way to get it out of the food chain once it gets in the food chain. It's just disastrous. So my point here is that wolves are our best defense. They're our last best chance to slow this disease down. And when we stop wolf recovery, we're cutting our own throat. Let's say here. Nope, nothing kills it. In fact, here's the deal. So this is a man-made disease. It's a great question whether cooking would kill it. So what happened was, there's a similar disease that happens in sheep called scrapie, SCRAPIE. And it was the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, was doing research on this disease outside of Fort Collins. And they said, I wonder if this disease can get into the deer population. So they had captive deer, and they infected the deer. And then the deer got loose. And that is now...
It's approved?
Huh?
It's approved?
Oh, 100% proof. It's known.
I heard about it a couple of times now.
It's known. It's not it. And then they tried to disinfect the facility, and they couldn't. They burned it to the ground. They could still find evidence of this infectious material in the soil. They removed 5 feet of topsoil, couldn't get rid of it in the topsoil, put a big fence around it and said biohazard. And but the beast was already loose. The deer got on the landscape. It spread. Colorado was the original epicenter. Now it's all the way to Wisconsin, Michigan. What's interesting is that in Wisconsin, they do. There's so much of it in Wisconsin that they do surveillance testing of every deer that's harvested. I hate that word, but harvested for human consumption has to be tested. If you don't test it, you're an idiot. I'm sure some people don't. They're like, what the hell? But in the counties where there were wolves, and this is an amazing statistic that shows you how powerful wolves are, even in small numbers, that in the counties where there are wolves, 24% of the shot deer tested have chronic wasting disease. In the counties where there are no wolves, it's 76%. Only difference is number of wolves. That's it. Let's see, I got a message held for review. Hang on. Thank you, Yami. Got my buddy Yami on here. And Yami is quite an expert on a lot of this stuff. All right. So yeah, the impact of wolves is so important, and we're just, huh?
Is it a girl?
What?
Is it a mama?
Yes, sure is. Little udders. Somebody mistrimmed.
Is it a girl?
Huh?
Is it a girl?
A doe. Oh. Yeah, so it's really interesting that wolves do not seem to be impacted by this, and it may be that we don't really know exactly why. I mean, there's definitely different ideas about it. Like, one idea is that the acids in a wolf's gut are so intense that it can't survive. Another is that they just don't live long enough for the disease to impact them, or their biology may just be so different that it doesn't impact them.
You put on the side, and we can help you to roll later. Just finish the whole thing. You don't have to roll it now. Yeah, oh, fine.
It's easier for me to roll it while I'm
But
sitting
you
here.
have to take it back to your...
It's fine. Just
Okay.
my timing is still good.
Okay.
The timing is good. Does Wolfman exist? I don't know. Some people call me a Wolfman. I'm kind of fuzzy,
Here.
kind of antisocial. I have a really good howl. Really good howl. I can set all the wolves in the neighborhood howling. No worries. I don't know if the phone mic will pick it up, but if I howl, all my animals will howl. Maybe after we're done here, I'll do a howl. So I would guess that processors, by the time that meat gets to processor, I'm assuming it's been tested, but that's actually a really good question. Like, I'm sure the processors know about it because they're handling the meat, right? I sure would make sure my people know about it. Is there a test for humans? No, there's not a test for humans. They can. Basically, it's one of those post-death diagnosis kind of things. Like, you can look at the brain after, and you can see. Otherwise, it's symptomatically diagnosed. But by the time you got symptoms of Creutzfeldt-Jakob, they call it CJD. By the time you have symptoms, you're days or weeks from death. Like, it's a short. You've been sick for a long time. It only shows symptoms right at the end, and all of a sudden, like, you'll be fine one day. The next day, you throw up in the shower and you can't balance yourself. A week later, you're on life support. Like, once it hits, it's been percolating for a long time, and then it just nails you.
Not eating meat.
Huh?
Not eating meat.
Not eating meat?
Not eating food.
I can't believe it. This is just 1 week's worth.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much meat. You guys have no idea how much. I'm just sitting here surrounded by meat.
Just happy.
And we're not even halfway through with this bucket. By the time we're done here, like, my hips are aching, my back is sore, we're all beat up. People offer to volunteer with me, and I'm like, oh, volunteer. Maybe they want to help me do meat. And I'm like, no, I feel bad. I feel bad. Like, they want to go hang out with wolves. They don't really want to package up 400 pounds of elk scraps. So again, guys, if you want to support us, which we would appreciate, you have a couple of options here. You could buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, on Amazon. You can buy merch from my store, like my awesome, if not friend, wife-friend shaped hoodie. I have all different colors, t-shirts, cute gifts, whatever. You can donate to the Tahoe Wolf Center, TahoeWolfCenter.org, through YouTube. Like, you can give me supers or other online gifts, kind of feel like it. We appreciate it very much. It all supports the wolves. And you could also become a subscriber of my channel. And at every level, if you subscribe and you send me a little note with your details, your mailing address, I'll send you an actual personal gift. And at higher levels, you get other things like very high resolution pictures of our wolves and opportunities for private live streams where I'll go out in the habitat and we'll hang out. You can see the animals. Oh yes, hey Lions, the radioactive wolves of Chernobyl. It's fascinating. Chernobyl is an amazing, like, natural success story in that it's still too toxic for humans, but the wildlife there appears to be flourishing, and it appears that somehow they have somewhat adapted to the radioactive environment. And there's ongoing research. It's very curious, but it makes me think that having a few nuclear accidents that keep people out of a few more places might not be so bad. That's kind of said as a joke, but kind of not. But that exclusion zone is it's become an amazing wildlife refuge. I need more bags.
Okay, get more bags.
It's very, very lean. The prime cut is the back strap, but I mean, elk. I mean, it's the same kind of cuts as beef, only they're a lot smaller. because beef are grown for meat production and elk are natural grown. But I really prefer elk meat or venison to beef. I also like bison. It's just leaner. The fat is a healthier kind of fat. It's higher in conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which is a better, healthier fat. A lot of it people use as stew meat or hamburger, but the prime cuts, and of course the organ meats, people love elk heart, elk liver, elk kidneys. Same for venison. The organs don't end up at the processor though. Good hunters will immediately, they'll immediately clean, gut, and bleed the animal, and they'll get the heart and the liver and the kidneys on ice like straight away. Oh, you missed. You hardly missed.
No, you.
I missed.
Yeah.
I said we. I didn't say
No,
you. She says it's all my fault. It's all my fault. So these are a biodegradable compostable bag, and we've been using them for many years. I don't know. They seem to be just fine in the freezer. They hold up fine. The biggest problem is sometimes they stick to the meat, and we have to get them wet to get them unstuck. But they're, we're not processing this for people. You got to remember, this is all, wolf food. So this works good. Oops. We go through it pretty fast. I've never had a bag break down in the freezer or break apart in the freezer. They seem pretty durable. They're less toxic for sure than like Ziploc bags, and that's our goal, is to have the least amount of waste we can and the most biodegradable, and these are biodegradable compostable bags. If we could figure out a way to do this fast without using bags, we would, but it just doesn't seem to be a way that portions them and lets them sort of molder each other so we can fit hundreds of pounds of meat in freezer and still get it out.
It's going to get too tender.
Yeah, we're not worried about freezer burn. The wolves don't care. And actually, we don't really get freezer burn on this stuff. You get more freezer burn in like a more freezer burn in my experience in like a Ziploc bag than you do in these bags for whatever reason.
They don't have time to burn.
They don't have time. My wife says they don't have time.
Not enough time to burn.
Our freezers are really cold and they don't defrost either, so I think that's the other factor, is that everything's -10, which also helps to make sure that if there's any parasites in anything, like we also occasionally get salmon. You have to freeze that at -10 for at least 21 days. Although the elk we feed raw, like today they'll get raw elk. What else? That's right. When they start sending notices to the chef that they're not happy with the quality of the meat that comes out of the bags, then we'll have to reevaluate in some meaningful way. Until then, I'm assuming they're okay with it. I've never had them send a meal back. That's not true. My old lady wolf, Akutak, she sends meals back all the time. She's so fussy, you can't even believe it. She'll take her food to the bed, guard it, bite you if you come near her, and like 4 a.m, she's finally eating it. You hear. But everyone else eats fast and doesn't mess around. But she's really the princess. She's been the queen for so long. She actually runs the house. We just live here. So raw meat is really, really good for your dogs. And what we're doing here is we're preparing food for our wolves and our one Alaskan Malamute. And the food we're preparing right now is elk scraps from the game processor from this year's hunting season. And it's got to be at least 350 pounds today,
I
huh?
have no idea. This freaking out.
Well, I brought in at least 10 bags. And there was no bag that weighed less than 35 pounds. So.
Okay.
Sorry, what's going on here? We're probably 75%. No, we're not 75%. We're probably.
No, it's a bit fast. It's fast. It's just
She's fast.
maybe fast.
Trying to see here. So you guys got any more questions? I'm trying to stay caught up here. Where does the other four sleep? Hey, Dave. So actually, if you look at my channel, so we have a big natural habitat. They have different hidey holes that they've dug out. They have platforms that they can get on or under. And we just bought, as a kind of an experiment, because permitting requirements want us to also have dog houses. And the ones they like are the dog glue dog houses. So we just bought extra large dog glues and put straw on them. So far, I don't think anybody slept in one. We'll see. They usually just sleep out like under trees next to each other in the open. That's how wolves in the wild sleep. The only time that wolves sleep underground is occasionally when it's really, really hot outside. I'll find my animals in a hole, but it's mostly to get out of the heat. They're pretty much impervious to weather. It doesn't bother them at all. So the only other time is when a mother wolf has puppies, and it's only for the first like 4 to 6 weeks of the puppy's lives. That's when we see wolves in a den. But in the wild, they mostly just sleep under trees, sometimes under like overturned logs. They want to get out of the weather, but they don't get cold or anything. So. Coyotes make a lot of noise. Wolves are very distinctive in their howling. There are definitely wolves in the Alaskan Shasta National Park area, so it's certainly possible you heard wolves. The closest wolves to us is the Diamond Peak Pack, and they're about 50 miles from where we are. But where we are, there's not enough big game up here this high where we're at, and so there's a lot of coyotes, but the only wolves are the ones that are here at our center. I'll tell you what, guys, when we finish this, I'll go outside and we'll do a little howl, and you guys can actually hear what a whole wolf pack howling sounds like, because there's a pretty good chance if I go out and howl that they'll howl back. So if you want to stay tuned, we'll do that in a few minutes here. So, I mean, deer attacks are usually like defensive aggressive attacks. I mean, if you want to see that stuff, follow the Turons of National Parks Instagram page. They do a great job of capturing people doing really dumb stuff around wildlife in national parks. At least a few times a year, somebody gets to play bison toss. That's where they get too close to the bison and the bison tosses them. But unprovoked deer, elk, bison kill more people. Cattle kill more people in a year than wolves have in the last 100. So.
It's a lot of meat.
It's a lot of meat.
But they can be finished in 1 week. How is it going to be if you feed them the string?
No. Not less than
Yeah, less than a week.
that. Well, let's just say 15 pounds a day, 70, 95 pounds, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh yes, Shasta-Lassen is where they really are. That's where most of the wolf family groups in California are. That is exactly where they are recovering. That is the ground central for wolf recovery in California is Shasta-Lassen. It is where they are. Population, there's I think 10 named wolf families in California now, and a population of a little less than 100, I think. Maybe 97 is kind of like the current estimate. You know, hard to know exactly, but that's what we think. Thank you very much, Sean. I'm glad you enjoy. So yes, we'll go out and do a howl in a few minutes here. And so just so you guys all understand my setup here, I live inside my wolf habitat. My house is fully in the habitat. So like off of my back deck, I have like a kennel so that I can actually eat lunch outside, or if I need to keep an animal separate for something. So like when I go outside on the back deck, I'll be in the kennel and they'll probably come charging up outside. Now I go in them all the time. I spend hours a day with them. But because we're making all this food and they just had elk, they kind of know that we're doing this right now. And if I let them onto the kennel, they'll try to get in the house, which is a pain. So I'll probably stay on the deck and howl them up, and they'll probably come, right? You'll be able to see them. Yeah, I'll put my headlamp so people can see.
What about the old lady?
The old lady is in the front. Yeah, and I promised that the old lady could come in, so we'll...
No. The old lady's not coming there.
Oh, my back is starting to get tired of sitting like this.
So it's not there.
Yeah, this is a hard job.
Almost there.
Almost there. So for those of you that have been kind of watching this, every one of these bags weighs 2 pounds. And it seems like I've done an endless number, right? It's probably close to 200 since we've been talking. So that's a great question, Carlos. And Ryan is pretty... So Arctic wolves are pure white, like polar bears. So they are very distinctive because they are so white. They're just absolutely white. We have one. She might make a cameo appearance here in a minute.
Why don't you show the Arctic wolf first? And then
Okay, my wife is saying I have to show off the Arctic wolf first.
And
So
then
first I'll go outside and I'll call the Arctic wolf and you guys can see an Arctic wolf. And then, so red wolves, yes, they're very distinctive. They're smaller, they're skinnier. They kind of look like reddish colored coyotes. Then there's Mexican gray wolves. Mexican gray wolves look pretty much like, to the average person, Mexican gray wolves and gray wolves look pretty much the same, but Mexican gray wolves are smaller. They have kind of a smaller face, and they all look very, very similar because they come from a very limited gene pool. There were only 7 left in the wild, and they were all captured and taken into captivity to prevent extinction. And there's been a species survival breeding program for the last 30 years. But because that gene pool is so limited, everybody's pretty closely related, so they all kind of look the same. God, this is a lot.
okay, almost done.
Almost done. Oh, I'm gonna stretch my back, guys. So, Fire Fang Crystal. The first thing you should do is you should... Oh, there's the Arctic wolf scratching at the door. If you're really serious about it, you should go volunteer at a wolf sanctuary, because unless you do, you have no knowledge of what you're getting yourself into. They are not good pets. I am telling you, as somebody that lives with them, loves them, has cared for them for 40 years, 90% of all animals that have any kind of real wolf content, by the time they're 2 years old, the people give them up, and they're either dead or in rescue, and there's no more space in the rescues. It's an endless problem. People think they look like dogs, so they're going to act
That's
like
about
dogs.
3 or 4. That's it.
Huh?
3 or 4 bags. 5 bags. Should be
5 bags, she says. Okay, we're coming down to the end of it here. That's more than 5.
I don't know. But this
That's
is,
way
this
more
is the
than 5.
bone. I don't know.
Oh, aren't you going to bag the bones too?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a small bone. The big bone is fine.
So, catch one. Talk about 2 bulls.
Here.
Bang. She's banging on the door. So I don't tell people not to do it. I tell them if you're going to do it, you should know what you're getting yourself into, and you should be very aware. And if you don't have experience with Huskies, Malamutes, where they're like, yeah, this is easy for us.
You want to give her a little piece of food? Or something?
The problem is you're going to give her this, and she's going to be like, I like the mountain or the meat. I'm going to guard the
She's not coming
mountain.
in the house.
Huh?
And she's not coming in the house.
Not coming in the house yet.
You want to see it?
That's what you need to do. Like, you find a place, wolf dog sanctuary, wolf dog rescue, wolf sanctuary, and that way you'll know. And you'll know why people give them up, and you'll get to see what these animals are really like firsthand. And that way you'll be making an informed decision, right? Like, so many people get dogs because they like how they look or they like the idea, and then they discover that, you know, the dog, I mean, there's so many Great Pyrenees in rescue because people thought, oh, I love this white fluffy dog, and they don't realize that that is like a dog whose whole purpose is to alert their owners of something happening. And
Should I just put these little teeth of the chop on there? I think she should decide.
and they, you know,
I think she'd be okay. It's
you
not-
know, your neighbors start complaining, and you got to get rid of your dog because it's loud every time the mailman walks by or anybody else. You know, and that's a relatively easy dog compared to like a wolf dog. You know, the other thing is that when you get a wolf dog, a lot of vets won't work with them. There's a lot of legislation banning them, so they're illegal in a lot of places. They're really, really hard to keep contained. I mean, they are escape artists on steroids. And, you know, one of my, you know, I say it as a joke, but it's really true, is, you know, when your husky gets loose, the neighbor calls. When your wolf or wolf dog gets loose, the sheriff's department and the newspaper call. And you don't want that phone call. Believe me when I tell you, you don't want that phone call. So, just things to consider. Sorry, am I head wolf? They think so. I mean, the whole alpha wolf thing is a myth, but they see me kind of as the dad. I've hand raised all my animals since they were teeny tiny. If you scroll back in my channel, you will see that I've hand raised all these animals since they were teeny tiny. They all love me more than my wife loves me. She's sitting right here, and she heard me say it. Do they love me more than you love me?
I think so.
She thinks so. I'm not sure that that says they love me a lot or that I'm just not that lovable. I don't know. Some people think I'm kind of cute. Or maybe I was at one time. More?
Yes. It's one bag. It's one small bag.
One more bag. We're almost done. So I'm considered the dad of the pack. Coyotes are very difficult. Coyotes are very, very difficult. Their behavior is considerably different than dogs, and so people don't understand their behavior, and they're really hard to keep contained. They don't really need us. I mean, even a captive raised coyote can actually figure out how to survive in the wild. The captive raised wolf cannot. And so, are we done?
I think I can put those here, the bone and the bone and those together.
Yeah, those little bones are
This
cute.
is small bone is fine.
Yeah, those ones I don't trust.
No, I'm gonna remove it this way.
You guys
This
can't
one-
believe it. You guys, those of you that are still here, 17 people have hung on, are going to get to actually see the wolves. So those of you that hung on here, you guys are the ones that get the win. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guys, you're going to see the byproduct of all this work. I'm going to take my little phone out of here. Oh, I got to stand up. Okay. So yeah, actually, I just hey Ryan, you really know a lot. It's very clear. I just gave a TEDx talk that should be live here anytime, called "Defanging Alpha: What Wolves Can Teach Us About Leadership," and that's exactly what I talk about. Is that the whole alpha wolf myth thing is not true. I gotta put on my little headlamp here. Give me a sec.
All right, so
And
I have to sit down.
my wife has to stretch her back. I'm gonna flip the camera around. You guys will be able to see. So this is,
Honey, you can get this
she's
out
at the,
too, also.
she's at the door. I know.
And get this one.
What? The bone right there?
Yeah. This is,
Okay.
this off
And then this is all the bagged bone here. So like this is so this was completely full times 3 plus this. This is all bagged. Now we have to carry that out into the, let me show you what the freezers look like real quick here. So this is our game freezer, one of them. So this is what it looks like here when we're done. It's just log after log of frozen, right? That's one freezer. This is cleared so we can make room for the new stuff. And then this is another one here. Somebody gave us some chicken paws, right? But this is their food in here. And then outside we got giant long chest freezers. And there's a piece that the Malamute left on the floor. So what do you want me to give to her? All of our furniture is covered in moving blankets because the animals destroy everything when they come in the house. All right, let me turn on my headlamp here. Oh, she's right here at the door. My Arctic wolf is right here at the door. She want to come inside. Kiwi! Hi. Wait, nope. Here, I got something for you. So this animal here, you can take this? Oh. So she's, here. Take it. So this here girl is, hey, I'm gonna close this. This is my Malamute. That's our dog. This animal here is pure Arctic wolf. She's 14 and a half. She'll be 15 in April. So quite an old lady. Still has beautiful spicy teeth. Hey, that was Kiwi's. You already had one. But she really wants to come inside. This is about that time when she comes inside. So let's see if I can get some people to howl here. So the other ones are on the other side. The dog and a couple of the wolves and this old lady and a couple of the wolves don't get along, so we keep them separate. By the way, you can see my front door. They're gouging my front door. I actually had a piece of copper here to protect the door, and they scratched through the copper. So I can hear the other ones on the other side. So let me give a little howl, and we will see if they howl back, and then we'll go see them. Dog is helping. So that was my howl. I'm pretty good at howling. So these animals are all socialized to me and my wife. So the Malamute is a puppy. She's just, she'll be 2 in February. Hi, yes. Why aren't your other people Yeah, think about it. I can hear him. Here we go. So let me go around to the other side of the habitat real quick, and you'll see the other ones. So I think they're mostly busy with their bones. But if I come over here, they'll come charging over because they'll think I got something better. Oh, and here we go, my crazy people. Here. All right, so this here is Nunariak or Noonie. Hi, Noonie. And underneath him there is Sunny. Oh, here's Icknick. This is my grown-up boy here. Oh, he's putting the puppy in his place a little bit because the puppy's annoying. Everybody still has bones, so they're worried that somebody's going to steal their food. Except Noonie. Noonie thinks that he's getting seconds or thirds. He probably will later. So his name is really Nunariak, which means earth or of the land. Hi, Mooney. Come here, Mooney. 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 They like to jump up right here. Mooney. Come here. There's Mooney. Hi, Mooney. That's Mooney. Mooney will kick Noonie's ass. Sunny and Mooney kind of bicker this time of year. They're sisters. Yeah, so you see I'm literally surrounded by the wolves here. Now they see me, they probably won't sing for me. So yeah, this is, I was talking about, see this kennel is so that I can actually eat out here on this picnic table if I want, although I also use this like if there's an emergency and I need to keep the animals somewhere. So yeah, this is our setup. And then out here in the dark is a giant natural habitat, acres. They have over here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up here with me. It's sort of hard to angle my headlamp here. That's a 12,000 gallon swimming pond for them. And it's just all nature, right? It's just a forest with a fence. And here's Noonie, my Noonie. Noonie is my puppy. He's just 1.5 years old. And here's Mooney. Hi, Mooney. Hi, Mooney. So if you guys want to support us, like I said, you can donate at TahoeWolfCenter.org. If you want to learn more, you could buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. And if you like cute merch, like I said, this is, if not friend, why friend shaped. And the animal one here is actually Icknick, who was the big one who came up for just a second and then disappeared because he's worried somebody's going to steal his bone. So those are all the different ways you can support us, my online store here on YouTube. And then if you want to join the channel as a paying member, if you do that, I will actually send you a very personal gift that you can't get anywhere else. And the way that you let me know is if you subscribe as a paying member of the channel, then send me an email to TahoeWolfCenter@gmail.com. Say new member. And I will, I'll need to get your mailing address and I'll send you a gift. And finally, if you want to give me a super here or a gift here, well, I'm still live. You can always do that. We do appreciate it. Everything that comes in here goes to take care of the animals and further our education and science mission here at the Tahoe Wolf Center. So with that, I think we are, thank you. We are going to wrap it up for the evening because I have to carry about 350 pounds of meat into coolers and I can't live stream while I do that. You can do that via PayPal. On the Tahoe Wolf Center website, there's actually a donation link. I believe on my profile here on YouTube, there's also a donation link. And then when they growl, well, so they growl a lot. Wolves are very growly animals. They growl at each other. They growl at me. They just growl. And so it depends on the level of the growl. Like, if I go outside while they got a bone, they'll give me an 8 out of 10 growl. If I try to get a hold of the bone, they'll give me an 11 out of 10 growl, which means I'm about to take your hand off. So quite a lot of different variety in the growling. They also do a lot of like squeaking, like that's what Mooney's doing right now. Peeping, howling, yipping. They clack their jaws together. They make a sound that's an alarm bark that kind of goes like, oh, oh. They squeak. Mooney is squeaking because she's begging Icknick for his bone, and he doesn't want to share. And here, that's on the video here. So she's begging him, and he's saying no. You can see she's right there in front of him, being all flirty. See her? The smaller black wolf is being flirty and saying, I'm cute, give me your bone. And he's saying, I'm not giving you my bone. And so she's squeaking, right, Mooney? What happened? You got the best piece earlier, Mooney. Didn't you? Hi, cute Mooney. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. It's been super fun. Thank you for tuning in here. And again, if you want to support us, we would so appreciate it. And now I'm going to go carry... Oh, yes, everybody got plenty of bones. Hey, Sunset. Yeah. So, how's the process of carrying all this stuff into the game freezers? And then we got to wash the buckets. Washing the buckets. Oh. So, yeah, that's kind of it for us this evening, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you have a happy holiday. And thank you very much, Sean. It was fun chatting with y'all while we did the work. And again, if you want to support us, please do. We always appreciate it. And here, let me get my wife to real quick show you the back of the hoodie here. Can you show the back of the hoodie? Just hold this up so people can see our logo.
I don't know. This is I don't know.
Just hold it up. Yeah.
It's all up.
There you go. That's
Here.
the back. Tahoe Wolf Center. And the front has got Icknick. There's t-shirts and other stuff there too. That's in my online store if you like it. Thank you guys, Ryan, Lions, Firefang, Sean. Really appreciate all you guys tuning in, hanging with me, learning about wolves. And I hope I'll see you again. So like, subscribe, share with other people that you think might find what we do interesting or inspiring. And I hope at a minimum I motivated you guys to learn more about wolves and like wolves more, because that's the most important thing of all. So thank you guys very much. And happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Howls.